Well, since I'm talking about all this ayahuasca, it got me excited about it because I always get excited when I talk about it. So I'll be doing a talk here at my house, the Olive Street in Fort Collins, Colorado on Sunday. Let's see, that's August 28th, which is in a few days. And just to kind of prime myself for it, I decided I would go ahead and do ayahuasca this evening. So I wanted to show you my method. So I have a very simple tea method that I combo with a couple of capsules. And that helps me get it down easier. And I'll tell you, for somebody who has done 60 some journeys, I don't even know, I lost track somewhere, but it's important to me to be able to do something very easily at the drop of a hat. So I decided an hour ago, I put it on the stove, turned it up on high, turned it down to simmer, simmered it for an hour, and it's ready to go. And the capsules are pre-prepared. If you decide that you want to experiment with ayahuasca in the same way that I do, you can contact me and I can go through that and let you become part of the Tree of Life religious group. Once you're under the shelter of using plant medicines for religious reasons, you are protected under that 1983 act that went through the Supreme Court. So that's important for you to know. You would get from me, you would get a card that would state that you're a member. You have a 1-year membership whenever you buy my solo kit, which is a PDF and all the know-how that you need to do it safely in your own home or wherever you decide to do it with, whatever group you want to do it with. I'm a big fan of soloing because I can go into it deeper. If somebody's in the other room, I might stay a little bit more conscious because I'm aware that I'm sharing a bathroom maybe. I'm aware of things that could happen because there's somebody else in the other room. Whereas if I do it on my own, in my bedroom, I'm the only one that's going to use that bathroom. I'll have other people in my house. In fact, that's pretty much, I always have other people in my house because I run an Airbnb. And so, maybe one day out of a month, I won't have somebody in my house. So I've always got somebody around and they don't really need to know anything. It's because I have so much confidence because I've gone through it so many times. I know exactly what's going to happen for me as far as my body, physical body goes. So I don't have any concerns that I'm going to be yelling out or shout. I don't know what, people's fears would be around that. Cause I do, I'm certainly wouldn't say that those things couldn't happen and sometimes would. So for me, it works to have people upstairs who don't even know I'm going through it. But for you, maybe you would at least want to notify anybody else in the house of what you were doing in case they heard strange sounds coming from your bedroom. And, of course, the first time, it's always nice to have somebody around you could call out to if you're feeling like you are too cold or you need a blankie. Hopefully, in my kit, I go through everything so you set yourself up for all the things that could happen. What could happen, and so you're prepared. So, in this case, you would just have a blanket at your feet anyways, and you wouldn't need to call somebody to get you a blankie. But there are, I think some security factors for some people where they're gonna like knowing somebody's in the other room. And for me, I liked knowing nobody else was around. And that's because I went through that fear. And once you go through it, it's like being scared of a spider, and then you catch it in a jar and you realize you're a lot bigger than the spider, and that you're actually not at all afraid of the spider anymore. And so when you see spiders, you don't scream anymore and run out of the room. And that's really kind of just a similar analogy of once you confront something, you know what it is. I mean, you might not want the spider on your shoulder because it's maybe not a friendly spider, or you don't know, but you deal with it. You're not in a panic state because of the unknown. It's always the unknown that causes the panic state in us. So I hope that helps. I will make a video tomorrow because I want to demonstrate any change that I'm guessing you'll be able to even see in my person. So it's August. You know, it's a beautiful time of year and I'm feeling pretty good, but I noticed, you know, a little more droopiness than normal in my face. The last time I did ayahuasca would be, say it was in the spring. So it's definitely time for me, you know, minimum twice a year. And that's a commitment for life, minimum twice a year. But really, I think that 3 days in a row twice a year is ideal, or even, you know, once every 3 or 4 months. It's just something that, again, you can do at the drop of a hat. You had a bad day, or your ex-husband's bugging you, or somebody's got you triggered that normally doesn't trigger you. Maybe it's time to do a little cleansing and see if you can kind of remedy that in your soul so that you're not carrying around that burden. Anyway, so there you have it. I'll be back tomorrow with a video of the Lulu who just did ayahuasca. Okay, thanks.